Hello healers! Today I want to share with you my PvP build that I've been using for mostly Outpost Rush, but it also works great for small scale PvP. I actually used this build in the Outpost Rush video I recently posted. I'll throw a link here. Stay tuned if you want to see all the skills and passives along with the builds for my offhands in PvP. They go really well together. I also stream on Twitch if you want to catch me live. I'll leave a link for it in the description if you want to come say hi. So first off, let's look at the Lifestaff build. I'm actually going to give you guys two variations of this build that work wonderfully, with slightly different playstyles. For the first build, I'll show you guys what I most commonly run for PvP, excluding wars, don't come for me, which is what you see here. For my three active skills, I take Sacred Ground, Beacon, and Light's Embrace. Sacred Ground is literally amazing in PvP, because even if you were to throw it under your teammates for just a few seconds, that's plenty of time to burst heal them with Light's Embrace, or to chunk their HP bar up with the awesome HOT Sacred provides. The two passives for this skill are no-brainers. The first giving your teammates back mana and stamina, and the second increasing your healing output. Beacon is also a really fun skill to use, either stacked with Sacred Ground for epic healing output, or by itself attached to a critical teammate. I take all the passives for this skill to increase its radius and duration, and the last passive, Speed of Light, gives an awesome AoE haste boost to anyone that Beacon heals, which is super helpful when getting away or closing gaps during big fights. Light's Embrace is an amazing single target heal for PvP, as it's an instant cast skill that heals more the more buffs the target has on them. I really focus this build around this skill, ensuring I take the passive Spirits United and Sacred Protection to give myself and nearby teammates a permanent 2 extra buffs, increasing my base healing on them by 60%, doing absolutely nothing. I also take the first passive for this skill, Inspire, giving back 25 stamina to teammates as you heal them, which is awesome for dodging or blocking in PvP. The last two passives for this skill are also great, especially if you're running Orb of Protection instead of Beacon or Sacred Ground, but since I'm taking the two AoE skills, I feel as though I don't get enough out of them to take them compared to other passives, as I'm really not giving out as many buffs. This skill is honestly a bit overtuned right now, as it can full heal anyone with a few buffs on them. Other important passives to note for this Lifestaff build are Protector's Touch for a consistent 15% fortify on yourself with light and heavy attacks. Glowing Focus and Protector's Strength work really well to enhance the healing from your buffs. And Revitalize helps to reduce cooldowns on skills with light attacks, which is absolutely amazing when paired with your longer cooldown AoEs, since you can really nick down the cooldown time on those. Bend Light is also awesome because the more you dodge, the more you heal. And despite the recent nerf to Blissful Touch, I still take this passive as it does some healing when shooting light attacks through a crowd, especially in Outpost Rush. There's also not many passives I would trade this skill out for, as they vary in usefulness as well. And now for the second variation of this build, which uses Orb of Protection instead of Light's Embrace. This build offers a slightly different playstyle that isn't focused on burst healing individual members as much as giving your group overall more healing over time, along with Fortify. If you really struggle or dislike the healing scroll system in this game, I would suggest giving this a shot as well, since you only need to aim your reticle to effectively use the skill. For this build, I take all the passives for Orb to give it that heal over time I mentioned and allow it to heal multiple targets. And for my offhand, I often use Hammer or Ice Gauntlet for PvP, although rest assured there are many other great offhands, these are just my personal favorites. My build for Hammer is focused around CC to both disrupt fights and peel for myself. I take Clear Out and its passives to use as a disruptive skill on points. It usually hits targets all around you as long as they are directly behind you, which is awesome. And it gives all my nearby teammates Fortify, which is an added bonus. I take Path of Destiny and its passives to give this skill a great stagger and reduce the cooldown for the more targets I hit. This skill is great as a ranged option when you're closing gaps in fights, and also great to throw into choke points to stagger tons of people without putting yourself in danger. I lastly take Shockwave for an amazing AoE stun and both passives to weaken targets who get trapped in it, and to expand the skill's radius. Some notable passives in this build are Prevailing Spirit for self-regen when using your skills, Outnumbered to make you more tanky for the more enemies on you, and Aftershock to apply slows to targets hit by your CC skills. When running Ice Gauntlet, I like using Ice Storm, Ice Shower, and Entombed. Ice Storm is an awesome skill for a pretty potent AoE slow, and I'm aware at the time of posting this video the skill is bugged so the slow doesn't go off right away, allowing the people to roll out early. However, I take the first two passives for this skill to save some mana and increase the damage output to low health targets. Ice Shower is all around amazing, and I take all passives for this skill. With passives, it not only increases ally haste when running through it, it applies a heavy slow and rend to targets caught in it, making it a pretty formidable skill in PvP for CC, buffing, and debuffing alike. Entombed is an amazing panic button, allowing you to wait out cooldowns or for allies to come help heal for you in dangerous situations. I don't actively use this skill to heal mana in PvP, as the life-saving ability should be the main priority for this skill as a defensive. I take both passives for this skill as well, for a self-cleanse and increased defense when I need it coming out of the skill. Some other notable passives for this build are Gathering Storm and Empowered Frost for mana regeneration, and Defiant Freeze for a self-fortify buff. I also really get a kick out of Frozen Touch in PvP, as any melee who jump on you while you're running at full health gets slowed, giving you time to get away. For my attributes, I grab 250 focus and hit 150 constitution after eating constitution food. I like having extra con as opposed to more focus for survivability in PvP through a bigger health pool. As with everything build related, attribute points are extremely personal, so feel free to experiment with what works for you. I personally like to play in the front lines with hammer, and thus play more aggressively, so being tankier as a healer helps keep me alive with my preferred playstyle. I also run full heavy gear with Onyx gems. Currently, I'm using the 60 faction set for full resilient perks while I work toward Voidbent armor. And that's it for my build. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I wish you luck on your PvP adventures. Please consider liking and subscribing if you found this helpful. I'll catch you all in New World.